Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I will do different if I started out on property all over again. So I've been buying properties for the last 7 years. I bought my first property 7 years ago, and then I bought my second property, which was my first buy to let 2 years ago. And earlier in the year, I bought a block of 4 flats up in Yorkshire, and that was with my younger brother. Now, although I'm quite happy with the progress I've made in property, if I could start all over again, there are certainly things I would do different. First thing is, I'll be honest, I didn't really attend networking events religiously from the start. So what I mean by that is I went to my first networking event about 5 years ago, and I didn't really make it a consistent habit. And the reason why I will do it differently if I was to go back in time is I've come to realize the power of actually going to property networking events and just networking events in general. You meet people that you can take inspiration from, that can actually help you in your journey and can provide you a lot of value. I honestly didn't really attend a lot of networking events because I didn't feel like I could actually go to them because of the lack of experience and things that I'd done in property. If I'm being honest, I was a little bit embarrassed. At the time, I had my property that I was living in, but because I hadn't been investing in property or anything like that, I didn't really feel like I could go to them. And it was only really when I was in the process of purchasing my first buy to let that I started actually going to networking events. And it was because I felt like now I'm actually investing, I could go. But in reality, you could have no properties and no experience, and going to networking events will be valuable provided that you're there to actually meet people and offer value in other ways as well. And people will no doubt then help you and offer you assistance as well. So I will definitely do that differently. I would go to a lot more networking events consistently, property networking events, business networking events, other networking events, and I will make it a habit of going to a few every single month. Second thing I will do different is I would get educated a lot sooner. So again, when I started going to events, I didn't really take it seriously, if I'm being honest. So I might watch the odd YouTube video here and maybe the odd event I might go to there, but I wasn't really taking it as serious as I should have done. So as time has gone on, and more recently, I definitely have invested more in my education. I've done a few courses. I go to multiple networking events every single month. I watch YouTube channels on property and I read property books. But that's only something that's come more recently. I wasn't really doing that a couple of years ago. And I was just kind of plodding along and trying to figure things out as I went along, but with no clear direction and no real knowledge and understanding. So I'll definitely make it a higher priority to get educated. The third thing I will do is actually build my power team as quickly as possible. So once I actually understand that I want to be in property, I know there's certain people that I'm going to have to rely on to make my property business a success. So number one, what I'll need is a good mortgage broker. So a mortgage broker that understands the market, understands what I'm trying to do, and is very experienced as well. That's what I will do. Get a mortgage broker quickly. Understand who are the good solicitors. So I would build some connections with people that have used good solicitors and then understand what solicitors I could potentially use. I would also get familiar with the estate agents in the area that I'm at, make sure I'm building rapport and really have them on side and let them know that I'm actually serious about investing. And I would also have some kind of mentor as well. So whether it's a paid mentorship or not, having people that you can go to for guidance and advice is so important. A couple of years ago, if I'm being honest, I don't really have a power team. I wasn't really going to events anyway to really connect with people. So I was pretty much solo. And that proved to be difficult. I wasted a lot of time. I wasted quite a bit of money as well. And all in all, it could have made my journey a lot smoother and more efficient if I had a power team a lot earlier. Another thing that I would do very different is I wouldn't buy a flat. Now, when I say a flat, I'm talking a leasehold specifically. Now, I don't regret buying it. However, if I could go back in time, then I wouldn't do it. And the reason why is because with a leasehold, you actually own the flat. However, you don't own the ground that it's on. So what that means is you actually have to pay a service charge and potentially ground rent to the freeholder. And the freeholder is actually who owns the land that the building sits on. So having that lack of control over your property, and there are going to be regulations as well. So it might be that you may be able to rent it out as a buy-to-let, but potentially not as a service accommodation. So you may not be able to actually put it on Airbnb and Booking.com. Different freeholders have different sets of rules. However, those rules you'd have to abide by. And now I look at it, it does bring me in some cash flow, some profit. However, I do feel that if I'd actually known what I was doing when I was buying a buy-to-let at the time, I would have went for something that I had more control over, so a freehold, and would have done a bit more research about the property that I was buying. And the last thing that I would have changed, if I could, would have been my mindset. So if I'm being honest, a couple of years ago, I didn't really believe that I could actually be successful in property. I knew that's what I wanted to do. However, I didn't have the real belief to be able to actually make it happen. I had a quite closed-minded mindset as well. Didn't really trust people that were in property, or just generally anyway. Because of that, not really ask questions, not divulge too much information. And I think this limited me a lot. Over time, I've definitely become a lot more open-minded. I'm a lot more open with what I'm doing in property and just generally in life as well. And that's because I've come to trust people as well. This isn't something that I've just had all along. I definitely didn't have a abundant mindset. So my mindset would have been something I would have worked on. Believing in myself, understanding that I can make things happen and that I can put a vision into reality. This might be the most important one because everything else follows after. If you have a strong mindset, believe that you can be successful in anything, then chances are you're going to be. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, do give it a like. And if you found value from this video or any other video on this channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.